After you get signed up for ALEKS, you'll have this screen right here. And this is going to walk you through how to use ALEKS at first, and then we'll do the initial knowledge check. So the first thing is just the tools tutorial and kind of how to use ALEKS and show you how to do different things. So I'm actually going to skip this part. And I want to talk about the initial knowledge check. Okay, so the initial knowledge check is a diagnostic of what you know about class. Okay, so I'm in a statistics class. If you're in a different class, it still works the same way. So you're going to do this, and again, what it's going to do is it's going to take the stuff that you know and say, you've already done this. Let's focus on the stuff that you don't know how to do. And the goal of this is to get 0 topics. So I do not expect you already to know how to do statistics or algebra in any class that you're in. Okay, so I expect you to get 0 topics right, and then you can work on the topics throughout the class. But again, it's going to pick some things that you know and say, okay, you know how to do this. Let's focus on the stuff you don't know how to do and go from there. So you can go through this. I'm going to skip that part. All right, so here's the initial knowledge check. So like the first problem, again, this is a statistics class. Yours may look a little different, but it's just going to test you and see what you know and what you don't know. You're welcome to hit the I don't know button. If you don't know, that's fine. That does not hurt you. Again, I expect you to get 0. I just want to see what you know now, and it's going to focus on what you don't know. This is exactly what your knowledge checks throughout the class are going to look like also. This is also what your final knowledge check is going to look like. It's going to be the same format, so you'll have this idea. And all it does is it reworks the pie that I'm fixing to show you every time you take one and kind of says, okay, you know how to do this stuff. Let's focus on the stuff you don't know how to do. So I'm going to skip this so we can see what the pie looks like. All right, so here it says that I completed 10 topics out of 125. So again, I expect you to complete 0, so any one that you get is kind of a bonus. So I've done like 8% of the class. So there's 125 total topics in this class. Again, this is for a statistics class. That number may change. If you're in a different class, it may change if you're in statistics class, depending on what semester you're doing. All right, so I click continue, and this is that pie that I talk about in the syllabus, and it shows you I've done 10 topics. My goal is to get 125. It's going to give me some more tutorials as I... Oh, no, it doesn't. All right, so here is the pie that I'm talking about. On the left-hand side, you see working towards 25% pie progress goal, 10 out of 32 topics. So your class is going to say something like that. It's going to have a due date, and that is to keep you on pace, okay? So you should be done with 25% of the pie or 25% of the class by the date that's shown there. So in this class, it's May 31st. So it's going to just keep going and keep going as you go throughout there. So the goal in the class is to do all 100% of the topics, but not everybody is going to be able to do all 100% of the topics. So you just want to do as many as you possibly can. So this will keep you on pace, as saying on the left, the 25% pie progress goal, to make sure you can have the chance and the time to do all 100% of topics if you can. If you click on the 10, it actually shows you the percent of the class that you've completed. Okay, so you can kind of see how close you are to the 25%, what your grade looking like in the class. So this grade does build on the class. So towards the end of the semester, if you're at like an 82%, that will be kind of where your grade is looking like in the class. And if you are ready to take the final, then you'll likely score around an 82% on the final. So whatever number is right here is kind of what your grade is going to end up being in the class, approximately. There are some other factors, but that gives you a good idea. So I would look at that for more than even the grade book. Pay attention to what percentage of the pie you have completed. All right, so when you're doing problems or to get this number to go up, you can click Start My Path. Continue my path. It's going to show some explanation of the problem that you're fixing to do, kind of to learn the information and look at the topic, and it gives you some different things. On the right-hand side, you have these circles. The first thing is the instructor resources. So this is what I put in. So this will send you to my website and actually the page where I have some information for this problem. So that's me where I've worked out the problem. Some of these have videos, some of them have real in-depth explanations. So usually the harder they get, the more topics I have. It has a calculator if you are allowed to use one. This ALEKS calculator will be used on most of them. I just picked one that wasn't. If you bought the book, you may have some resources, some videos, the ebook. You can use those if you bought the book. If you didn't buy the book, then you still have my resources and this Learn page. That's not going to go away. The next thing is a message. So this will actually send the problem to me, and you can say, hey, I don't understand this, this, and this problem, and I can reply. And then you can print these also. Okay, so this is all information to help you learn the problem. Then you click Start, and you're actually going to work through the problem. So I'm actually going to pick an easier problem to do to show you how it kind of works, one that's not 3 parts. But to show you how this works, so let's say I'm working this problem and it's not going well, and I want to pick a different problem. I can click this arrow and it's going to drop these down. So I can scroll through all of these and pick a different topic if I want to do that. Okay, so these are called the ready to learn topics. So I'll say this one. So let's just start this and do this one real quick and I can kind of show you how it works. So if you get one right, it's going to say correct, and it's going to go up here in the upper right-hand corner. You see that +1, and I get to go on to the next problem. So it's going to give me another one of these problems, and I can go through it and get it right. And it's going to go up again. So as soon as you get, usually it's 3 in a row and a right, but that's not always the way it is, it's going to give me credit for this topic. If you miss one, that's fine. So let me just put a number in here to miss it. If I miss one, it's going to drop me back down a little bit and say, okay, you need to practice a little bit more before you truly understand this. So maybe it'll send me back to the explanation page and say, hey, look back over this. Maybe that will help you go through it. So then it's going to send you back to the problems. Let's get some right and see how it works when I get them right. All right, see, so I still haven't filled up that whole bar, so I need to get one more right. So this would be 3 in a row, so it definitely should work after this. All right, so it says I did it. I completed it. I click next, and now I've done, now I'm 21 topics away from hitting my 25% progress goal. So if I go back to the home page just to see, now my pie is at 11, and I'm at 9% of the class is done. Okay, so every time I do a topic and complete a topic, that number is going to go up. And again, the goal is to fill out that pie and get as close to your total topics as you can. So in the upper corner here, you see this bar of mastered, learned, and remaining. So mastered is how many I got right on the knowledge checks. Learned is how many I've just did, like the topic I just did, and then remaining, how many is total left in the class. Okay. If you're stuck on a topic, you can just click this arrow and jump to a different topic and skip around there. You can click the arrow in the upper left-hand corner and see the different pie slices. So this is the different big objectives that you have in the class. So you can kind of jump all the way to the end and see like regression and correlation. There's 3 that are ready to learn. Okay. The only thing that it won't let you do is skip to a topic that you have. You need to do a different topic first as a prerequisite to be able to do that topic. Okay. That's why these ready to learn ones. So there's 36 topics that I can do right now. And I don't have to do anything else before those. As I do these, more and more are going to open up. Another option you can do in the upper right-hand corner, you can click filters, and you can sort these topics in different ways. So like on my website and everything I have listed, I am listed as the pie slices, but maybe it's best to do it easiest. That's what it defaults to. And then you can also see like which ones I have instructor resources and all that, which I should have instructor resources for almost all of them. But this is all you're going to do. So you just kind of click on the start my path, or in the upper right-hand corner, click learn, and you just work and work and work through those. Randomly, there's going to be the knowledge checks to check and make sure you're understanding it. And what it's actually going to do, in the upper right-hand corner, you see it says mastered 10, learned 1. What it's going to do on a knowledge check is it's going to test you over the stuff that you've been doing recently, and then it's going to move those learned topics into mastered. So that's the goal, is to master as many topics as you possibly can. So throughout the semester, you just kind of work on problems, you do these knowledge checks, and then you master them. And then for the end one, the final knowledge check, so I'll go to assignments here. The final knowledge check is a proctored knowledge check that you will have to take in the classroom if it's a face-to-face classroom, or online, one of those proctored options that your professor provides you. And because I want to make sure you're the one that are doing this. So this is going to be just like that initial knowledge check and these knowledge checks that you're doing throughout the class. It's going to ask you questions with what you've been working on recently, and then kind of go up and down from there based on whether you get it right or wrong. So in the grade book or under assignments, you'll see these different grades. So your main grades come from your knowledge checks, and then your other grade comes from how much of the pie you get done. I will tell you this because I've been doing this a while. Like I said before, like if I took the final right now, I would probably score around a 9% on it, okay? So the higher you get that number, if you get it to 95%, I'm guessing that you're going to score around a 95% on the final. So usually, whatever number you get around on the pie, or whatever percentage you're at on the pie, is the percent that you get on the final, okay? I believe that is all I needed to show you on ALEKS. Let me know if you have any questions.